Pokemon Emerald Kaizo is considered to be the hardest Pokemon ROM hack by fans. Just how hard is Pokemon Emerald Kaizo, you ask? Well, after beating it, I can say it's very, very hard. I've completed several Nuzlockes and hardcore ROM hacks and hardcore Nuzlockes, but Emerald Kaizo takes the cake by a landslide. Trainers have a super unfair advantage for the moves that you won't normally be able to learn, such as moves like Draco Meteor. Very few Pokemon can even have setup moves, such as Swords Dance. You can't access your bags during battles at all, which isn't like a super big deal if you're used to hardcore Nuzlocks. There's no physical special split, which makes a good chunk of Pokemon insanely hard to use. All gym leaders in Elite Four and Champion have 6 Pokemon, with some of them having legendaries, some of them having multiple legendaries. There's no fairy typing, which makes dragon types super hard to take down. And what did I decide to do? Well, I decided to try to beat Emerald Kaizo on set mode and go in as blind as possible. My first step on this journey was to beat Roxanne without whopping once. Spoilers, it most certainly didn't happen. If you don't know, Roxanne is the roadblock for most players in Emerald Kaizo, causing players to quit before their first gym badge. But before then, I needed to pick my starter. Emerald Kaizo uses the same starters as normal Emerald, so you have the choice of Trico, Mudkip, and the fiery chicken Torchic. And after deciding and debating with myself and with chat on which one to pick, I decided to pick Trico for several reasons. Grass has a favorable top matchup against Roxanne. It's also my favorite typing. It's also a very fast, special attacking grass type Pokemon, which makes it great at revenge kills. Mudkip was going to be my second option, but I already knew that there were 2 other water ground types that you could get pretty early on, being both Barboach and Wooper. Whopper. And the fire chicken would just be taken out by a rock move instantly, so it was him. So my journey began by resetting for my Trico to get the perfect nature. And when I finally got it, I actually forgot to nickname it.
Oh, not this. Shelly, hello. Keep? Yeah, we'll keep it. We'll go with it. Oh, I didn't nickname our starter.
Now, normally you could just keep it, but I wanted to nickname everything. That way, when I get completely turbo destroyed, I felt emotion. I felt the pain that they felt. So I reset again until I got the Trico exactly how I wanted it. Well, kinda. It still had some awful IVs, but it worked at least. My next big step was traveling to Route 103 to catch the very first thing that I knew I needed on this playthrough, which is Tailo. If you don't know, Tailo is considered to be insanely strong in Generation 3 because of a few factors. It's fast and gets the ability Guts, and if you don't know what Guts does, it allows the Pokemon to be hit with a status condition such as Burn or Paralysis to receive a 50% attack boost. However, if it's burned, it actually doesn't get affected by Burn's secondary effect, which is normally lowering the attack stat. But that isn't the only thing in Tailo's kit. It gets a move called Facade, which is a 70 base power physical move because normal being physical. And if you have a status condition such as Burn, the attack stat doubles, making the base power as 140. And this isn't including the Guts boost or the stab boost because Facade being a normal type move. So on the way to find Tailo, I decided to catch everything. Wurmple, Igglybuff, Sentence, you name it. Anything that was on these routes, I was throwing balls. I knew I needed an army for this upcoming gym find. And after catching everything I possibly could get my hands on and becoming what would some consider to be a Pokemon dealer, it was time to get into Petalbark Woods, where I encountered a Mankey.
Oh, there we go. Dummy worked. All right. I don't want to even weaken you. Time for some cross chop action. Chat, what should we name Monkey? Should we just name it Monkey? Monkey. All right, Mankey, please do not be modest. If there is one thing I've ever asked, it's for Mankey to not be modest. Neutral nature, I'll take it.
This Mankey I knew was going to be special as soon as I looked into those big angry eyes of it. I just didn't realize how special it was going to be. After leaving Petalburger Woods and heading up to Rustboro City, I was jump scared by Red and actually just punched him in the face and moved on.
Yes, Tuska's up front. Level 12. Dun 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 dun. Pop this. Guys, look, it's TC3. You have cut. Retake those. Quite a few of them, actually. Nice. This is actually fine because we're stalling out light screen turns. Excellent. This knocks this out. Light screen's gone. All that's left is Squirtle at this point. I am 100% okay letting Pingen go down. And we have Tusk still in the back, even though Tusk is not very good, but we do have Ice Shard if we need it for it. I think we just hit Bullet Seed and we should be okay. Nice. Chat, we did it. We beat Red.
And it was time for my first big roadblock Roxanne. So, as I mentioned before, Roxanne is the biggest roadblock for many players, and let me explain how cracked this team actually is. She has items on every one of her Pokemon, being Lum Berries or Citrus Berries or Berry Juice. She has a Nose Pass, which is super defensive and has moves like Thunder Wave and Attract to make you really want to just pull your hair out. It has Self-Destruct, so it can pick up KOs whenever it gets low on HP, which you will always get low on HP because how bulky it is. She has both of the Hoed fossils, being Anorith and Laleep. Anorith is surprisingly fast bug top that will literally destroy every grass top for breakfast, as it has both Aerial Ace and X-Scissor. Laleep is a bulky Pokemon, and it being a grass rock type makes it very hard to deal with. Carries both Recover and Giga Drain to make it stay on the field forever, has Ancient Power to boost every one of its stats, and has Sludge Bomb to hit other grass tops. She has a Relicanth, which you would think, oh, it's a Relicanth, it's 4 times weak to grass. And yeah, it's probably the easiest thing to deal with her team, but it still is a threat with Yawn that instantly will put you to sleep and can hit very, very hard with Rock Throw. She has a special attacker with Lunatone with Hypnosis that's also decently fast. It has Moonlight and Recover, it has Moonlight to recover, and carries Rock Slide for big damage. And her last member is the most evil, it's Shuckle. And I know what you're thinking, it's a Shuckle, what can it do? Well, I can answer that question by hitting every rollout known to mankind. Seriously, this thing never missed a rollout for me, and it would literally just destroy everything. If you don't know how rollout works, rollout gets stronger every time it's actually used. But the catch is, once you click it, you can't not use it until you miss. So that's a stacked team, and let me explain what I've got. I have a Sunflora, which is actually one of the few Pokemon that gets a setup move called Growth, and it actually carried me for the first part of this playthrough. A Mankey, which I got in Petalbark Woods, which was fast at least. I got a Volbeat, which is actually a really, really good Pokemon, and it handles actually Laleep and any Rock Psychic types that she might have. Grovyle is fast and can revenge kill if needed. And Oddish and Squirtle are there to fill gaps, although I did have Toxic on Oddish, so that kind of helps later on. I should also mention that while I am going in Blonde, the Laleep actually got kind of spoiled for me. So, yeah, I kind of knew Laleep was coming, but I also was trying to stay around the level caps of Roxanne, which is level 15 for this fight. And so my first attempt happened.
All right, so here comes the Nose Pass. Exactly what I thought she would have. The Nose Pass is almost surely going to Thunder Wave. There's not a world which the thing does not Thunder Wave. I'm going to Growth. You should save state. I said I was going to minimize chat and then I can still see it. I saved right before. I don't want to get Thunder Waved. I'm assuming it would Thunder Wave again, and I don't want to get paralyzed. Okay. Do I want... I want to be greedy. Seismic Toss. That's good to know. We can take one more. We'll get up to full. We should. I've got my Notepad Plus up here. Alright, what comes in next? Level 17. That's going to help out quite a bit. Okay, here comes the Laleep. I forgot Nosepass has the juice. Alright, so she does have the Laleep. I knew that she had the Laleep. For sure. What it has, I don't know. I imagine it's very stally set, so I'm just going to Mega Drain. We're going to hope we live this. We do live this. This should actually do quite a bit, because we're at +3. It's going to pop a berry. I think we still live one more at this range. We do. Oh, we got paralyzed. That's huge. Okay. That's not the end of the world, though. I just let Get Good go down. Okay. So, here is where I think Sieg is going to start playing a role. And we're going to Silver Wind and hope we get some stuff. This should do a nice chunk of damage. We've already used the item. Nice. Ancient Power. Don't get an Omni Boost. That is the one thing I'm asking. Okay, no Omni Boost. Can we get an Omni Boost? Omni Boost? No Omni Boost. Okay. Lunatone. Okay, so it does. She does have a Lunatone. Okay, so this thing probably has Hypnosis, like what we were saying earlier. I'm gonna just Silver Wind. Rock Slide. Do we take a Rock Slide? We might not take a Rock Slide. We don't take a Rock Slide. Okay, that's not the end of the world because we have Snips, and this is kind of Snips' secondary role here. And we just Bullet Seed, and I think we can knock it out if we don't get like really. Well, that's probably a 4 Bullet Seed. Don't get 2. We got 2. That's not good. Not the end of the world. Snip should take it. We Bullet Seed. We should knock out Lunatone. So this isn't going terrible. Anorith. Okay, this thing is a problem. Give us like a 5 hit. That would be good. we get 2. X scissors, snips goes down. That's okay. Because it's at half HP. It's probably like right at it. We can just karate chop. Oh, this thing carries aerial ace. Okay, good to know. You have 1 HP. So I think we go shell shock because it's gonna resist at this point. And we can just get a seismic toss off just for damage. That X scissor does so much. Anorith is also very quick, yes. This thing's probably gonna go with a rock move at this point in time. I really wish Get Good didn't get paralyzed. I think if Get Good didn't get paralyzed, the turn would have been so much better. Snips and Oddish kind of destroy this thing. It doesn't have very good Spadef, but it's probably going to... Oh, water gun. Rock throw. It's fast. It's going to come down to the last turn, or the last one. Actually, Bubble would probably be better to slow it down. I'm going to get put to sleep here. That's fine. Oh, they changed how Yawn worked, so you instantly fall asleep. Okay. Slow. Okay, that's actually huge. It's got a citrus berry. Can we slow it down again, just to make sure Oddish outspeeds? Oh, do we have the Chesto on Oddish? On Goddish? We did put the Chesto on Goddish. This actually might be the biggest play ever. This needs to knock it out. Okay, we knock it out. What's our final Pokemon? Give me, I was really not expecting Relicanth at all. Goddish got to 16.
And I managed to get all the way down to Shuckle against my Oddish, and the Shuckle was paralyzed, and I could recover with a Mega Drain. And then this happened.
That's huge. Okay, okay. Here comes Shuckle. Okay, so she does have the Shuckle. This thing is going to be a monster. Shuckle. Shuckle. Alright, I 100% Toxic it. Shuckle memes, yeah. So, it's poisoned. Okay, it's got rollout. That's not good. I need to Mega Drain and get as much health back as possible through these fights. It's not going to do a whole lot. If it misses some rollouts, that would be good. Hasn't missed a rollout. This Shuckle is God tier. This is going to be so close. It's going to come down to him missing a rollout. Didn't miss one rollout? Are you serious? No, chat. Okay, okay, so...
Yep, it hit every rollout. But after my 3rd attempt, and my 4th attempt was starting, this finally happened.
I should have Seismic Toss there. We have a Berry Juice. I'm going to Seismic Toss. It also has a Berry Juice. Okay. Oh, it's got Citrus Berry. We need to get as much damage as we possibly can on this thing. It has not missed a rollout. We could double kick. I don't think it's worth. I think it's better just to Bullet Seed at this point and hope we get a bunch. I don't think one rollout kills us anyways. Yeah, we got it. Easy. GG, chat. We did it. We did it, chat.
I finally beat Roxanne. But this is just the first gym leader. I still have 7 more to go and many, many more boss fights to handle. After the roadblock is over, it's time to head to my next gym leader, being Broly. Yes, I know it's Brawly, but Broly is funnier. First, I decided to change up my team now that the level cap has moved to around 20, adding Magikarp, Tailo, and Cubone. And on my way, I ended up catching 2 more Pokemon that became invaluable to the team, being Ralts and Makuhita. Duver's gym itself isn't too bad of a challenge, and it's really close to where we were anyways. And you get a few Pokemon that can help you out a ton. So let's talk about Raleigh's team. It consists of all 3 Hitmons, and they all have Rock Slide. Out of that though, only Hitmontop is annoying due to Fake Out and Intimidate, and it has priority Mach Punch. He also has a Meditite with huge power and a Poliwrath. Meditite has Fake Out and Rock Slide, and Poliwrath has Hypnosis and Ice Punch to be able to hit Flying Tops. It also carries Stab, Surf. His final Pokemon, and in my opinion is the biggest threat, is Hariyama, which has Fake Out, Rock Slide, and is insanely bulky. Most of his Pokemon also carry Ghost moves, so you can't abuse the Ghost immunity. But my team was honestly really prepared for this gym. The only issue that I ran into was I kept getting flinched a lot, and I mean a lot.
I'm going to actually use this turn to Synthesis. One. Because he's like dead on Rock Slide. Now you feel my pain?
But I had a sound strategy. I ended up bringing Love Disc, which has access to the move Charm, which can completely destroy Hitmontop, letting Sunflora set up and then sweep. If you don't know what Charm does, it drops the opposing Pokemon's attack by 2 stages. And I had 5 PP of it, so I can completely neuter the Hitmontop. Gyarados, I also had back with Intimidate, could also help with the attack lowering. Overall, it was actually just one of the easier gym leaders, as once I lowered the Hitmontop's attack, Sunflora just came in, set up, and actually took out Hitmontop, Poliwrath, and Hitmonlee, and it was close to knocking out Hitmonchan. I just needed to get a revenge kill, which Tailo picked up.
Alright. Intimidate, cool. I did it once. I have yet to not do that. Secret power. Alright, cool. You know, I should make a save state so I don't have to keep doing this part of it, but I really don't want to. Mach Punch. Hey, cool. Growth. Don't you do it. We got flinched like, what, 4 times there? We're at +2. Oh, I didn't give him the Orb. Or we still have the Oranberry. Nice. We're at +3. I do want to try to get to +5 if we can. I'm going to Synthesis against this turn. Alright, so we're +5. Mega Drain should be doing a lot of damage. We should actually get all our health back here as long as we don't flinch. Even if we flinch, it's not going to be the end of the world. Alright, here it is, chat. It's the strat. Did my Sunflora strat actually pay off? That still didn't KO. Of course it didn't. Poliwrath. Okay. This is going to hurt. But this should get all our health back. Interesting for the Poliwrath. He does have Hitmonlee. Okay. Rolling Kick. How much does this do? A lot. This should maybe one-shot. Hitmonlee's not that bulky. It doesn't, but we can take it out next turn. Hitmonlee has less HP, yeah. Oh, a nice crit. Nice. Sunflora's putting in the work. Oh, very common, yeah. Hitmonchan. So you do have all the Hitmonchans. Interesting. Hitmonchan will live this for sure, because he's got way more. We might be okay. We might survive on 1. Alright, yeah, at this point, we just let Get Good go down. Penguin come in. Who is our fastest? Honestly, Nami could come in. Actually, I will send Nami in, because I think a Water Pulse KOs at this point, and whatever comes in next, we can Charm it. We can just sack Nami to Charming, because we still have some Charms left. Charm. Or -2. Oh, you have Shadow Ball. Okay. I'll still go ahead and... Do I want to... I guess I can Water Pulse for the confusion. Good Charm on Meditite has huge power. Yeah. So he's going to still do physical moves. I'll go and Charm you again. Meditite's pogging. Meditite is pogging. Oh my god. That's fine though, because now we can come in with probably... Penguin and just Wing Attack and knock it out. We have Quick Attack too if we needed it. Alright, so what's your final Pokemon? If I have to take a guess, it's Hariyama. There's no shot it's not Hariyama. It's Hariyama. Okay. How much does this do? Not that much. Rock Slide. Alright, Penguin's gone. So our goal here, I'm going to send Gyarados in to Intimidate. I don't see a world where I don't. Just sack Gyarados. Get as much damage as we can here. Bulk. Yeah, this thing is a massive... Oh, we win with Gyarados. Unless we, like, get Turbo critted. But, didn't even need Kirlia. If Gyarados goes down, we just go Kirlia and kill. But, I think we win here. No Berry. He didn't have a Citrus Berry. He could have had King's Rock or something. I do remember Rock Slide flinches being annoying for me. Maybe he had King's Rock.
So, 3rd gym badge earned, and now it's time to meet Steven Stone. It's at this time I learned that Gyarados kind of sucks a lot in Emerald Kaizo. Well, it doesn't actually suck, but it actually doesn't get any good water moves for a very, very long time, making it not being able to access Stab. In Granite Cave, I caught a few more things, but nothing super of note, but I did see the true fangs of Emerald Kaizo. You see, I've only talked about the battling portion of the game, but where the real challenge of this game is in its insanely difficult puzzles. In Granite Cave, there's an ice puzzle, and this ice puzzle took me 40 minutes. Yes, I did time it. Yes, I went back to the VOD and looked. It took me almost 40. Actually, I think it took me a little over 40 minutes. And they only get worse from here. But after that, it was time to meet Steven Stone, and it was time to head to Slaysport and head up the Trainer Gauntlet, which was the beach. But first, it was time for a big team change. My Tailor had evolved into a Swallow, and I decided to have a strong Fire, Water, Grass core. So I ended up boxing Gyarados in favor of Poliwag and added Growlithe. And then I rounded out my team with adding a few new party members, replacing Sunflora with Gulpin, being known as D's, and Cubone was still there, doing work with its thick club, and of course Grovile was there, eating things for breakfast. And then I finally made it to Slatesport, and it was time for some R&R, and what better place to go to R&R than a museum? Except Team Aqua had taken over it, and after slapping them around, I decided to check all the marts, and bought what I could, then leave town heading for Route 110, where both Gulpin and Poliwag evolved. And then my next big boss battle was waiting. It was my rival fight.
As long as you don't lead a flying type, we'll be okay. Even if you do. Oh, okay. Well, that works perfectly. Because we can hit through Sturdy now. Well, not like Sturdy's a big thing in this game anyways, but... Nidorino? Boomerang. Drill Run. We may eat this? We eat this. Send out another Pokemon that I can destroy you with. Alright, we're getting a water move into the face, so I'm gonna pivot to Snips here. Bullet Seed. Surely we won't hit ourselves. I think it's very risky to stay in, but I'm going to. Because we also have... Okay. We have D's. D's can come in, and D's can just Giga Drain. As long as D's doesn't also get confused. The Hax is here! Don't do it. Oh my god, 3 in a row. I assume it's going to use a flying move. Secret Power. Static, that's fine. We can just Flame Wheel. It's not too big if Nom goes down. Because even if he's got a Grass type, we got Swalot. Withdrew, okay. Combuskin, that's fine. Yeah. Because Thwacker can also come back in on the Pidgeotto and Revenge Kill it if we needed it. And we just Bubble Beam. Jinbei faster than Combuskin? That's odd. Break. What comes in? Bayleaf. Okay. I actually, you're at full HP. Of course, Giga Drain. This Bayleaf's about to get eviscerated though, for future things, and I have not been. I don't even know Notepad++ up. I've seen the bits as well. Yes. We got paralyzed again. That's fine. Swallow just becomes stronger. Bow, bow. Quick attack. Excellent. We cleaned up. That wasn't too bad.
After punching Brendan, it was finally time to take on Watson. As I prepared for the gym battle, adding in my Oddish to the team, which was Nell Gloom, and heading to the door, Wally showed up. This child, who pretty much croaks if he touches a blade of grass, dare threaten to fight me and my army. I was ready. Except, he only had one Pokemon. Easy, right? This kid, this loser, managed to grind his Ralts all the way up to level 70 without evolving it, might I add. Luckily, I was just able to use Gloom and Toxic the Ralts and stall it, as that Ralts apparently only could Pain Split and Will-O-Wisp my entire team.
Oh, so he really does? He only has one Pokemon. Okay. Well, does this Ralts explode? Oh, it's 70, not 75. I haven't looked. I'll just Toxic you, I guess. So, like... You could lose this fight. You could get PP stalled. It has Pain Split. Okay, never mind. I see what's going on here.
So after shoving grass in Wally's face, it was time once more to get prepared and fight the gym. I decided a fresh start with this gym strategy as I knew Watson would be prepared for ground tops, as this is my third gym challenge and Pokemon always have coverage for their weaknesses. So I decided to bring Tusk the Donphan, Thwacker the Marowak, D's the Gulpin, Get Good for the Sunflora. Which, actually, I guess I haven't mentioned this, but I ended up catching a ton of Sunkern to help with Roxanne way back in Gym 1. And then adding 2 new members. Guts, the Hariyama that had Guts. It was prepared to have Fake Out, and with its Guts ability, hit very, very hard. And the last member being something no one expects, Spinda. I know what you're thinking. Spinda? Spinda sucks. And you would be correct, except in Emerald Kaizo, this thing had a huge buff. It was a complete menace, having Dizzy Punch, which can confuse, and its base power buffed to 90, Fake Out for priority and stab, Hypnosis for sleep, and it gets Hyper Voice at level 24. I was ready. At least, so I thought. Watson team, as I did predict correctly, had a ton of answers to ground types. His Jolteon and Empress both had hidden power grass. He also had a Lantern with Surf and an Electabuzz with Stab Thunderbolt, and had both Ice Punch and Fire Punch to help out with grass and ground types. His last two members were a Raichu that actually didn't have Surf, which is really weird, and a Manectric with Intimidate that had Flamethrower and Thunderbolt. It's also very fast and can hit very hard. Now, I didn't actually know this at this time, but for some reason I just assumed Manectric was a physical attacker. It turns out it's not, it's super special attacker, but yeah. After a few attempts, I did manage to squeak by with what has to be the closest and most intense gym battle I ever had. Donphan pulling out the wind with so little HP, it was insane.
All right, Watson. I didn't even think of like a double battle either. My brain's like so scatterbrained because I'm not prepared. All right, so you're leading Jolteon. We're already going slower. Do I just do... I probably just... Oh, this is huge, actually. That's huge that we're paralyzed with Guts. We're at full HP, too. All right, so here's Electabuzz. Earlier, someone said something about Psychic, so I'm expecting a Psychic, but... Okay, you do have Psychic. Cool. We live in that, though. We do have Thwacker still. I'm going to go Tusk. I'm going to hope Tusk lives. No matter what, we can always come back in with Fake Out. It's just a matter of, am I going to misplay this? As long as we live, we knock out the Electabuzz. We do. Ice Shard. Gets rid of this. So, here's what my play is. So, here's my play. I'm going to Endeavor this turn, and then Ice Shard next. Assuming Lantern comes out. Okay. So, change of plans. A water move's coming. I 100% pivot to Get Good, and we Giga Drain. Yeah, we pivot to Get Good. And hope Get Good can survive an Ice Beam. Because we're definitely getting hit with a water move. Ice Beam comes off. Oh, you just went straight for the Ice Beam. Okay, how much does this do? Okay. We straight up sack Sunflora here. Ouch, yeah. I mean, I don't think... I guess Swalot would have been better. We go Guts. Fake Out. Sack Guts. This should do a fat chunk of damage. It didn't do that much damage. And we Vital Throw. If we live this, this would be huge. We do live that. Oh, we got the paralysis. The paralysis there is massive because if we would have lived, or if we wouldn't have been paralysis, we'd have taken a huge chunk off. Dang, that stinks. Do we just go Thwacker? Is Thwacker fast enough? So we have our nuts, yeah. If Thwacker's faster, we'll be in an okay position. If Thwacker's faster, I really screwed up. Surf, how much is this going to do? It's going to do a lot. It's going to KO. And we're going to yawn and put it to sleep. And we're going to sit here. D should be able to take a good bit of this. How much does this do? Yeah. Perfect. I can't believe I forgot that we have Giga Drain on D's. Nice crit. Nice. And whatever comes out next, we're just yawning. We just yawn. Ampharos. Yawn, because you're very bulky. So we put you to sleep. Part of me wants to just pivot to Tusk and Mudshot. I think I'm going to. I'm going to pivot to Tusk and Mudshot. Hidden power? What's your hidden power? I can't believe that turn won't wake up. That's so unfortunate. We go drunk and we Fake Out. We got so once more we get very unlucky. I think we can beat it this time. We did get some luck though. With Guts getting paralyzed here and this Jolteon essentially not doing anything. Jolteon flinched, Vital Throw, Thunder Wave, so he's going to do the same thing. That's fine. Don't be paralyzed. Pog. I can't believe we got crit there. And we Mudshot. Ice Punch. We get at least more information on this guy. Ice Punch. Oranberry pops this time. Ice Shard knocks out the Electabuzz. So here comes Lantern, and this is where I made a misplay the first time. We go straight into these, and then start Giga Draining. Thunderbolt, we take this. As long as we don't get crit. If we get crit, then we're kind of screwed. Okay. I want to keep Marowak alive. If we can get a crit here, that would be huge again, because that's what kind of helped us last time. Or either that or Lantern stays asleep for 3 turns. Woke up, surf, that's fine. I knew this was coming. No sense in yawning because it's going to go down to Giga Drain. Okay, so Ampharos comes out here, right? I'm not too worried about Ampharos. We got really unlucky with a turn 1 Wake. I don't know what Ampharos does to us, though, other than being very bulky. How much does Giga Drain do? Like, am I overthinking? Do I just, like... That didn't do that much. Okay, so you woke up. Thunder Wave. Totally fine. Because we have the berry. We missed? Oof, that's not good. That's okay, though. If we can put it to sleep, we can start Giga Draining or Sludge Bombing. You guys know a Spore move? Well, it's not a Spore move. Oh, well, kinda. It still misses, though, is the thing. Also, we got paralyzed there, which means D's goes down, which is really unfortunate. Marowak was not faster than this thing last time, either. We haven't seen it do anything. So this might be an opportunity to set up a growth. Part of me wants to see what it does. Actually, let me synthesis. You have Fire Punch. Okay. So random. I do not need to set that up then. I didn't mean to click Giga Drain either. I meant to do Sludge Bomb, but Giga Drain's going to do more anyways. If we can whittle it down, we can send Spin to in. I just want to try to get as much damage as we possibly can. We can Fake Out. We Fake Out. We Hypnosis. Hopefully hit the Hypnosis. I'm going to Dizzy Punch this turn. Okay, we hit the Hypnosis. Nice. I'm almost thinking that we just go Drunk straight into Ampharos. Fast Asleep. Alright, we just Hyper Voice now and it knocks, it'll knock this thing out. Wait a minute, is Ampharos level 29, which is impossible to get? Well, you know, someone's got to cheat. Alright, so it's down to 2. We've got 3 Pokemon. Here comes Raichu. So this thing, I'm going to try to hit another Hypnosis. I want to see how well we take a Thunderbolt. I don't know if we even take one. Oh, we do. We missed. I think we need to hit. Oh, okay, this is actually massive because this gives us another chance. Because obviously, perfect. So I want Raichu to stay asleep. Oh, you have a Lumberry. That's fine. So that was like kind of a no turn. We missed though. Man, I wish we lived that. We really need to live this and hit another Hypnosis. Oh, we got paralyzed. Ugh. All right, well that's fine. It does have Surf, by the way. I knew it would. I want to save Tusk for Ice Shard if we needed it. We need Boomerang. I need Thwacker to live a Surf. I don't know if he does though. Not from Raichu. We do live it. That's huge. It's Manectric with Intimidate even. So, alright. What's he gonna do? He's probably just gonna like... We just Boomerang. Flamethrower. I don't think we live a Flamethrower, but... I'm almost like positive we don't. So you have Flamethrower. Flamethrower. Tusk has got half of his HP. Maybe. If we get close enough... Honestly, if we live this, I should have endeavored. I should have endeavored Ice Sharded. Doesn't matter because Tusk is the Tusk! Oh my god, 2 HP in a dream! Oh my. That wasn't too bad. That hurt my throat. 2 HP in a dream. Holy.
After the crushing of Watson, it was time to go to what I consider the hardest fight in Pokemon Emerald Kaizo. But first, I decided to try to catch a bunch of Nidorans as I figured Nidoking would be super good for Flannery. So I caught about 7 Nidorans, aptly named Da King, and it was time for Meteor Falls. On my way to Meteor Falls, there was a bunch of Team Magma grunts, and after about sending 23 of them to the Shadow Realm, I finally got to meet Archie, who complimented my nice bandana and scared away the rest of Team Magma grunts. Huzzah! I saved the day. At least I wanted to think that in my head. But now we were off to Mount Chimney, and I sent another 8 grunts and Tabitha to the Shadow Realm. And it was time for the first Maxi fight. But I decided to go back and torch my Swellow and Hariyama, that way they'd be at max power with their Guts ability. So as I walked back up the mountain, he was there. That crafty Poké nerd with his glasses maxi. This fight was so insanely hard for the team that I was using that it took me over 40 minutes with speed up. So let me explain how evil this team is. First, he leads with a Registeel, which is a legendary, and you might be like, oh well, just like one-shot it? And the answer is, well, I kind of can with Hariyama if it doesn't explode, but it also carries T-Wave and, again, Explosion to do massive damage and to completely slow down my team. He's also carrying a Crobat that will outspeed my entire team, and it has Air Slash for flinch strats, Heat-Wave and Poison Fang for inflicting statuses, and Giga Drain to recover HP. A Claydol that is more annoying than you would think with Stab, Psychic, Earthquake, and also Explosion. An Alakazam with every elemental punch, which is special in this game, might I remind you. And of course is carrying Stab, Psychic. A Houndoom, which has Intimidate in this game. And Stab with Overheat and Crunch, which hit incredibly hard. It carries Hidden Power Grass to help its water weakness. And last but not least is his worst Pokemon and the biggest wall, and I hate this thing so much from this game, and it gives me PTSD. Dusclops. Now, if you don't know how Dusclops works, it's an incredibly bulky Pokemon when giving the Eviolite item. And what Eviolite does is it doubles its defense and HP, or sorry, its defense and special defense stat, as long as it has another evolution after it, being Dusknoir. But that item doesn't exist in Gen 3, neither does its evolution. So they decided to buff it. It got actually a massive buff to its defense and special defense, and attack for some reason, so it can actually do damage. And what makes it bad is its moveset. It has Will-O-Wisp to burn your entire team, Shadow Ball for stab, which hits hard. It also carries Rest, so you can't status it. If you do status it, it'll just sleep it off. It has Leftovers, so it can constantly heal itself while it's sleeping. Its last move is Seismic Toss, which does always a flat set damage, this case being 38. And this thing walled me for so long. Most of his team I was able to destroy pretty easily, except this thing. My original team going in was Hariyama, Swellow, Swalot, Donphan, Gyarados, and Sceptile. The first fight went pretty well, knocking out 3 of his Pokemon without really taking damage, minus burn damage, except I did reset when I missed a cross chop, actually on my very first fight. Hariyama just, he needed his glasses, and he missed. But that Dusclops came out, and I could not do any damage to this thing. Now, keep in mind, the moves in this game are set to designed where you don't actually get very strong moves, so I had no good dark moves. The best thing I had was like knockoff on Hariyama and pursuit on Sceptile, so I couldn't do any damage to it. This thing is just straight up bulk, and it can heal while it just sits there and laughs at my face with burning everything with Will-O-Wisp, and it just sits there and heal. It's awful. So after bashing my head up against the wall from all the misses, the crits, the flinches, I was suffering, and I decided this team ain't gonna work at all. Oh, I also didn't mention this, but Dusclops' ability is pressure, so I was running out of PP for every move during this fight if I couldn't one-shot it. And I was also stubborn and didn't want to change my team at all. I did eventually cave and try swapping out Sceptile for Goddish the Blossom, but it didn't do really anything either. That Dusclops was just too strong. I knew I needed a counter for it, one that was fast and could hit hard with Stab Dark. And I actually had just the Pokemon on my PC, being Jaws the Carvanha. After another 20 minutes and evolving Carvanha to Sharpedo, and playing around with a little bit of RNG, I was finally able to take out that Dusclops with most of my team intact, but it still wasn't over. I still needed to take out Crobat and Houndoom, which were really fast. Luckily, he sent out Crobat and Gyarados could come in with Intimidate, lowering the Crobat's attack, and get some chip damage now that it has Waterfall, allowing Swalot to come in there, pick up the win with Ice Beam, and then it was just Houndoom left. I was confident at this point as I had Penguin the Swellow and Jaws the Sharpedo left. Jaws was still at full HP, and I knew Swellow outsped, and it hit a massive facade, one-shotting the Houndoom. At last, I was free from the shackles of this stupid Maxi 1 fight. But I keep saying Maxi 1, and that's because Maxi comes back every time stronger, and I knew I'd have to face him again, and it would only be scarier next time. After the highs of beating Maxi, it was time to actually clean up some gym leaders. Flannery was next, who I actually ended up soloing pretty much with just Nidoking, even though I thought this would be the hardest gym challenge because of Sun being out. Actually, the hardest thing in this gym was this stupid kid with a Tangela who just kept outspeeding everything and it took me like 10 minutes to beat for no reason at all. I probably should just brought up the ups.
So that way we're ready. Flannery, here we are. Ninetales comes out, we drill run. We know it knocks it out. Nidoking's also 45 instead of 42. This should knock out this. Alright, what do you got next? Cool. Typhlosion. So Typhlosion actually has some bulk. I'm gonna head smash. I'm gonna use one of her head smashes for this. Because I don't think she's gonna have 3 birds. 46, nice. Cast form. I honestly was not expecting cast form. I also forgot to say what I thought her team was gonna be, but cast form was not it. We drill run with Nidoking. Nice. Get rid of cast form. So here comes Blaziken. Blaziken resisted, so yeah, we definitely want to drill run. Alright, so no Entei? I expected an Entei. I mean, theoretically, we would have been fine to sack Nidoking, but if we go Carpados here, Carpados is going to intimidate Arcanine. He's going to get hit with a fire move, most likely. This is going to bait the Wild Charge. So we can just go back to Nidoking and we just head smash. Nidoking was the only one to do any work. For those that didn't believe it, believe it.
After beating Flannery, though, I thought it'd be a cool idea to use PP ups to get more PP for my Mons. I mean, what Pokemon doesn't like to get their PP to be raised? Am I right?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Turns out, though, that was a really, really bad idea, as it crashed my game.
Special attack doesn't really matter too much. But he's got Reversal, Endure, Endeavor, and Rock Tomb. I should actually... I think I need to PP max. Or PP up the Reversal. I don't know if I actually need to, but I'm going to. No.
So I had to redo the Flannery fight all over again, but it went the same as last time, Nidoking sweep, and I was off to go ask my dad why he went off to go get milk and never returned. Now, I should say that this fight actually got spoiled for me as well. Well, more so the fight and a mechanic did. You see, Norman in this game is a double battle fight, which honestly I expected because of skill swap slacking just being everywhere, so it doesn't have True Rod. What I learned is Gen 3 games are very, very, very spaghetti coded, as I've also been relearning with my own ROM hack, which you can try now. Instant plug, let's go. You see, typically for double battles, the trainers won't battle you if you only have one Pokemon, but any trainer that was turned into a double battle is different, such as Norman. An example is the Tate and Liza fight. If you only have one Pokemon, they'll just say no, go get another Pokemon. So, you can actually fight Norman though, with one Pokemon, which ends up being what happened. And what ends up happening is the one Pokemon you get to use gets duplicated. So remember that Mankey way back when that I said was special? It was time for it to become a Primeape and a Shine. And I could explain the fight, but it's way funnier for me just to do this and let you guys watch the fight unedited.
Yeah, alright, we're about to battle. So, I only have one Pokemon, right? Because the game doesn't know what to do, I now have 2 Pokemon. However, only one of these Pokemon are real. And all we need to do is click Reversal. And also because Gen 3 is kind of broken and Pokemon swap in mid to like turns, we get another attack off. That's what I said, like, I'm not too worried. I'm like, part of me is glad that I got spoiled for this because it's funny. So yeah, we Reversal and we Rock to the Espeon. So that way we can make Espeon slower. Alright. Oh, that actually might be bad. No, because we... Alright, so we need to actually Endure. And so Endure works like Protect when you're at 1 HP. Actually, it just works like in Protect anyways. So no matter what, we live this. Also, this Snorlax can't do anything because I do know its movesets as well. I know that it only can like snore and rest, but if you don't weaken it, it can't do anything. So there's that. We double Reversal into the Kangaskhan here. And Snorlax, you might think is a threat because he's setting up curses, right? Well, we have an answer to that as well. All right, here comes a Tauros. We should still KO. Even intimidated. Yeah. So here's I didn't know we had a Tauros. That's the only member I didn't know. Anyways, so we endeavor and then we just reverse them. Oh, our level 58 is somehow faster. All right, well, that's fine because we're going to go first anyways. Ideally, what happens there is you endeavor, it gets it down to 1, and you just like reversal it, but we'll just double reversal it. It doesn't matter. Norman, easiest gym leader.
Now that I've given Norman the knuckle sandwich, which he deserves, it's off to Winona, who actually turned out to be probably the hardest gym leader for me to beat at least, as it took about 15 minutes to beat. You see, at this point, this game wasn't pulling any punches, and she had 3 legendary bird Pokemon, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. I actually figured she was going to have also Ho-Oh and Lugia, but she didn't. She also carried an Aerodactyl and a Crobat and Flygon with her as well. All Pokemon are very fast and very, very strong. So I decided to be stubborn and abuse a different mechanic of Gen 3, because at this point, I had actually a massive army of Pokemon in my PC. And that mechanic is the battle mechanic. You see, in Gen 3, gym leaders are programmed to always go for a kill if they see one. So if you have a grass top out, they'll always try to kill it with a flying move, land or fire move, whatever move guarantees the kill. If you get in red HP, however, they're going to use just a random move. So it was crucial for me to never be in red. My team ended up being Snips the Sceptile, Master ZX the Armaldo, Caesar the Venusaur, Tusk the Donphan, and 2 Relicanths, one named Pot of Greed and the other named Yugi. Now, it might seem dumb to bring a grass top to a flying top gym, but again, abusing the mechanics of the game, I was able to get them to reliably target the grass tops that were out, letting my rock tops pick up KO. I pretty much just left Zapdos alone for most of the entire fight, taking out the rest of her Mons, and it ended up coming down to both Tusk and Pot of Greed against her Zapdos. Luckily, no matter what she could do, she couldn't KO both Mons. So, with the power of Head Smash with Tusk and Ancient Power on my Relicanth, with Zapdos already also having low HP, I picked up the KO, and it actually became my favorite fight in this game.
Sorry, you just wanted help? No, you're fine. You're totally fine. I'm definitely open to suggestions. Because I think I have a shoulder in the back if I really needed to. The problem is shoulder's slow. It's very bulky, but that's all it's kind of got. Ancient Power. I mean, we take Earthquake's better. I don't know why it's Earthquaking now, though. This also, I think, puts it in range. We need to get rid of Moltres, because Moltres is going to try to go into us, I think. Let's go to Venusaur. We have to get rid of Moltres here. Zapdos is fine to do whatever it wants to do. I would love an Omni Boost. We got, like, so many of them earlier, and we're not going to be able to get one now. Alright, Articuno comes out. I'm assuming it's going to go for another Drill Peck. So I'm going to go Yugi. And I'm going to Ancient Power the Articuno. Sky Attack? That's fine. Dude, give me an Omni Boost. Ice Beam. Alright, I'm going to leave now. See you, Jerby. Alright. No Omni Boost. Here comes Flygon. I think. No, here comes Crobat. Crobat, I think, is going to try to Giga Drain. I want to swap back in here. Believe it or not, I'm going to take out the Crobat. I probably should have Rock Tomb to make this thing slower. What is it? Hidden Powering. Okay, that's fine. Hidden Power. That makes sense because Zapdos has, like, no physical, like, flying moves. Dude, why does it live? I am going to assume they're going to double into... Actually, they might not. No, they're going to double into Venusaur. So I'm going to... I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm going to Razor Leaf, and I'm just going to Rock Slide. Yeah. That's fine. And we go to Yugi. And the reason I'm Rock Sliding is to get a little more damage on Zapdos. Return. That's fine. We live those. This should knock out Crobat. This will get chip damage on Zapdos. And I'm not worried about Zapdos too much, because he's going to... I want to keep you alive. I'm going to go to Snips. This went way better, by the way. And we're gonna ancient. I'm gonna rock tomb the Flygon. I'm gonna start slowing it down. Thunderbolt, we take those. We got more health too, so we can survive another. Like we can survive an earthquake from Flygon. This will slow it down. Dude, that crit. Why would you crit? Why would you crit? It's not very effective, but that's fine. My goal is to slow you down. Alright, I'm going to swap you out. Earthquake, do we live? We really need Master Sex to live, but I don't think he's going to because he didn't Omni Boost. That's fine though, because we have Tusk. And Tusk can... Alright, so we should be faster to Dragon Claw the Flygon. I'm more worried about Flygon than anything. Ice Shard to get some damage off on Zapdos. Dragon Claw. Okay, dude, crit's huge. Crit is huge. Because we can just head smash with Tusk. GG, yeah, that was a good fight. This was a good gym battle. Because Pot of Greed comes out, and there's no way this thing takes... There's not a world where this thing can take an Ancient Power and a Head Smash. Thunderbolt's Pot of Greed, but Pot of Greed allows me to draw 2 cards, and unfortunately, those 2 cards are Head Smash. Dude, if this Zapdos lived a Head Smash at this range, I would throw my controller. Not even lying. And now we can fly! We did it, chat, with the team! We also got Aerial Ace, which is pretty pog.
My next 2 streams actually were just me catching everything possible in the Safari Zone, including the best Pokemon on my Elite Four team, but I'll get to that much later. And then it was time to storm Team Magma's base. It was time for revenge, as I knew this fight was coming up, and I had prepared for it. My team had changed quite a bit, and there he was, the classy glasses-wearing fool. So when it comes to preparing for these fights, normally, up until Maxi 1 at least, I just kind of YOLO'd it. However, after getting my shit wrecked with Maxi 1, I ended up dedicating an entire week to prepping teams, talking to several people about ideas, bouncing ideas off of them. So I was prepared. Now, Maxi 2 is considered to be the actual hardest fight in Emerald Kaizo, and I can absolutely see why, but I was prepared. Remember, I'm going in blind, so I don't know what his team is. However, I at this point just assumed it was similar to what his team was last time. I did know that Sunlight would be in play, mainly because the entire base was heavy Sunlight. And I also knew he would have something with Chlorophyll, probably a Grass type to outspeed any Water types, or Rock types, or Ground types to just shut me down. Now, normally I would just tell you his team at this point, but I figured the play-by-play would actually be more fitting for this, as I actually didn't get to see many of his moves. And yeah, I kind of just destroyed him, but I will tell you what my team is going to this. So I had Machamp, Gardevoir, Dugtrio, Salamence, Sharpedo, and Swellow. And I also, in retrospect, should have just called this team SSS for any Legend of Heroes fans, but that's besides the point. You might be thinking this is also a super weird team, especially because I have Nidoking in the back, but this team was fast, and I needed fast. I had to have an answer for Dusclops, because, well, that was the wall, and I figured he would have it. So I decided to lead Machamp and prepare for the Registeel. And I just assumed he would have a ton of legendaries, and Machamp is actually bulkier than you think it would on the special side, and hits really hard. And I got another surprise as he decided to lead T-Tar, which had Intimidate. And if you don't know, this hack actually changes a lot of abilities and base stats for the game, so T-Tar losing Sandstream to Intimidate just makes it even scarier, in my opinion. But I was wanting to scout for information, so I decided to YOLO and hit a big massive Brick Break on T-Tar. And to my surprise, Machamp was actually able to KO T-Tar and one-shot it. His next Pokemon is Executor. Now, this thing has Chlorophyll, but first, another lesson in Gen 3 mechanics. The AI will always swap in a Pokemon that has a move that can KO you, and in this case, it was Psychic. So, I had just the answer to it, but I wanted to make sure to bring it in at full health, as Gardevoir is going to be my secret weapon. So I ended up hitting a big Fire Punch in the sun with Machamp, getting chip damage off, while Machamp actually ate a Solar Beam, got knocked out the following turn with Psychic. I actually am not really sure why it went Solar Beam. I guess it saw a kill with Solar Beam, but it didn't. So yeah, we survived that. My next move was sending out Gardevoir and Trace Chlorophyll with its ability Trace. Now, if you don't know, Gardevoir is actually decently fast already with base 80 speed, and hits hard and has good special bulk, and with Chlorophyll activating, now in the harsh sunlight, its base speed is 160, outspeeding most things. It also has a really wide move pool, and can learn a ton of moves. Mine had Psychic for Stab, Signal Beam, Ice Punch, and Magical Leaf. I ended up hitting a big Signal Beam, knocking out Executor, while Maxie swapped in his Flygon. I ended up just Ice Punching it, which again is special in this game, knocking out the Flygon. Then Gengar came out, which normally would be a problem for Gardevoir, except I was fast. Gardevoir brought her roller skates and had Stab Psychic, which just knocks out Gengar in one shot. His next Pokemon is Arcanine, and I hit a big Psychic, doing half damage to it. And remember how I said Gardevoir had a lot of special bulk? Well, Arcanine actually used Solar Beam, and Gardevoir ate that, only doing 1/4 of his HP. And with another Psychic, it went down. And it was down to Maxie's final Pokemon, while I still actually had 5 Pokemon left. And it was his legendary Pokemon Entei. I was actually surprised he didn't have Dusclops this entire time, and I'm actually surprised it was Entei, not Ho-Oh, but I wasn't going to complain. I had a big Psychic doing half of its HP, and he had a Sacred Fire, and the Sacred Fire ended up critting Gardevoir. I'm pretty sure I actually could have survived Sacred Fire if I didn't get crit because of Gardevoir's special bulk and Fire being special, but it's whatever, Gardevoir went down. And the last 4 Pokemon I had were all very fast. So I ended up sending Dugtrio in, which was the fastest thing on my team, hitting a big Earthquake and knocking out the Entei. Finally, I had my revenge. I ended up beating the hardest fight in Emerald Kaizo on my first attempt, and I gave Maxie the big middle finger. I felt unstoppable after defeating Maxie, but I knew this was far from over. I still had to get 2 more gym badges and deal with Team Aqua. So I continued my journey to Moss Deep City, where it was time to take on Tate and Liza, and their scary psychic double battle team. Except I actually already knew how to deal with this. You see, I actually had experience with this gym fight in my Draft Lock series, and I knew Tate and Liza could be a problem just because of how many legendaries are also psychic types. But double battles are actually very easy to cheese, even if you don't use the one Pokemon strat, which you actually can't do on this one. The strat is called Explosion and Self-Destruct. So I went in and I actually just exploded and self-destruct against most of her team, making it to where it was a super unfair advantage for me.
Can clean up. We'll see how it goes, chat. Let's see. All right, so let me give you guys my prediction here of what I said I think they had. My prediction is they're going to have Latios and Latias for sure, Metagross, either Jirachi, Deoxys, Mewtwo, or Mew. I think they only have one of those. Starmie or Slowbro, which we handle with Sceptile, and Gardevoir. Or Alakazam. I can see Alakazam over Gardevoir, but I think Gardevoir has better coverage. So, Latios, Latias, and Metagross I'm confident on. I am 100% sure that those 3 are coming. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it, gamers. Latios, okay, yeah. These things have Soldew too. There's no shot they don't have Soldew. Explode, however, is going to explode, and believe it or not, we're also going to explode. Alright, does Pass live? Latios goes down. Nice. Pass does live, which is huge, because whatever comes in next, I can explode again. It might not KO. Whatever comes out is about to explode. This is why Master ZX is on the team. To live in a self-destruct. Starmie. Okay, that's fine. Sceptile takes Starmie out. And Gardevoir. Alright, how much does this do? This should KO both of them, I would imagine. Starmie goes down. A crit? I don't know if that crit mattered. Gardevoir goes down. Alright. So, what comes out next? Jirachi? Alright, so it does have Jirachi. Our answer is Dig Dug. Our answer is Dig Dug. And we Earthquake. What's their final one? Medicham. Medicham, who do we have for Medicham? I'm going to... It doesn't matter what we actually do here. I will X-Scissor, but... This should knock out Jirachi. It's probably going to knock out Master ZX. It didn't knock out the Jirachi. Ooh. But we can go Boom. I don't think we lose this because we're both faster. Unless Jirachi gets an Omni Boost here. Both of us are faster than both of these Pokemon. So we go Snips. We go Snips here. And I don't explode. I'll say that. We Thunderbolt the Medicham. And we just crunch the Jirachi. This should knock out Medicham. Even if it doesn't, Snips takes it out. Or Boom takes it out next turn. And then we crush the Jirachi. Explosion! The explosion memes worked. That was actually very easy. I didn't even need Boom to explode. But we had it just in case.
After beating Tate and Liza, it was off to fight Archie now. Archie, in my mind, is probably the second scariest fight, and I think the second scariest trainer in general that I had issues with. His team is stacked with 2 legendaries being Raikou and Suicune, 2 pseudo-legendaries being Metagross and Dragonite, and 2 Swift Swimmers being Kingdra and Quillfish. And I know Quillfish doesn't sound intimidating, but trust me, Swift Swim Quillfish with an attack buff is very scary. It was also raining, so yeah, water moves did a lot, and Swift Swim mons were always going faster. I also just ended up using Explosion for this fight though, and beating it. So yeah, I kicked Archie to the curb. I did also try a really dumb strat with Flatter on Illumise and Sceptile, where I tried to use Flatter on Sceptile to raise its special attack, while Sceptile had a Lumberry to cure the confusion from it. It didn't work, but it was at least a funny try, and you know, maybe one day I will.
And this plan's not gonna work at all. Alright, well these are 2 things that Sceptile does not like. Kingdra. I'm gonna try it anyways though. I'm gonna try it anyways. We're just gonna Dragon Claw you. Draco Meteor. Oh my goodness. Hey, go for the big threat. Illumise. Alright, well, you know what? This still kinda works. I just can't get confused. Yeah, let's try this again, shall we? Alright, I'm not gonna... Okay, proof of concept does work. I need Armaldo.
But now that I taught Archie that too much water is bad for you, it was off to get my final gym badge, where I actually got a nice surprise by having to fight 2 gym leaders back to back. Both Juan and Wallace are required to beat to get the 8th gym badge, and both are double battles. And I'm pretty sure Explosion would have worked here, but I didn't do that this time around. You get healed by hit between fights, which is actually kind for this ROM hack, but it was time for me to win, so I just kind of used Sceptile to clean up most of the mons, as it's super fast and it's really hard with Leaf Blade at this point.
Alright, so we definitely want a Psychic here then. Alright, so we got a good roll there. Our accuracy is lowered though, that is something to keep in mind. Here comes Lapras. So we just Thunder Punch. This thing is so bulky. Alright, so here comes Lapras. We can honestly, I think, I want to save Sceptile in case we need it later. But like, what does it do against Punchy? Because Punchy can come in here, he can fake out, and then he just goes for a superpower. Gets rid of Lapras. Cast Form, I assume Cast Form is going to be Rainy. Yeah. So Cast Form's kind of a problem because he's going to hit us with a strong water move. But I'm okay just sacrificing Punchy and just getting as much damage off as we can. Because Kangaskhan is kind of bulky. Yeah, I was going to say, he might just live this. And we can just get a big Crush Claw. Nice. Alright. Where's the Vaporeon? I know you're going to have a Vaporeon. Swampert. Okay, so this is the thing we definitely need Sceptile for. And I was worried that he was going to have something like this. So, Swift Swim Swampert, because we have you. And this is literally what your job is. To handle the water grass types. Or water ground types, I'm sorry. Alright, Sceptile takes that out. Milotic. Okay, so this thing is a problem. Because this thing, I know it has Swift Swim. And it's going to be faster. I hope this puts us in overgrow range and doesn't kill. It does. Nice. And it's not completely dead yet. And I want to save Sceptile. So an Ice move's coming. I think we just go Guts. Guts is going to eat it. And we can Fake Out. And I'm hoping Fake Out does enough. I should have got Guts burned. Fake Out here with burn kills. And I didn't get I didn't burn them. So we can just play it safe. Just go for a knockoff. I don't think we live this. We do live this. I'm surprised. So close. That did nothing. I should have just superpowered there. Do we live an Ice Beam? We don't. That was a misplay. That's okay because we can go you and we can just Surf just to get rid of you. So that's totally fine. Okay, Ludicolo is the last Pokemon. This honestly isn't the worst thing to have out for Ludicolo. This thing's gonna have Swift Swim though. I think Sceptile does beat this. Giga Drain. Giga Drain's gonna be neutral. How much does this do? Not a lot. I don't think it beats. Yeah, All right, so this is a problem. Okay, we woke up. All right, Wallace is down. So this is a double battle. Cool. All right. That was a Kingdra and a Lapras. Actually, does Sceptile make sense here? I don't think Sceptile actually makes sense here. I mean, I can Leaf Blade the Lapras. Let's just see how this goes. And we can Psychic the Kingdra. Our accuracy drops, which is not cool. But that's okay. Lapras. Kingdra. Alright, Sceptile needs to live an Ice Beam from a Lapras. We're level 81, so we should live it. And we can just Leaf Blade the Lapras. And hope we get a, like, hopefully it minerals here. Okay, it doesn't. I think, honestly, we just go Punchy. And we should take out Lapras. The only problem is now we're kind of stuck in an area or a situation where, I mean, I can take Kingdra out this turn. Cast Form. Alright, so he's got a Cast Form too. I'm not too worried about Kingdra, I guess. Cast Form. Again, they had, like, similar themes. I'm going to Leaf Blade the Cast Form, and I'm just going to fake out the Kingdra. I do need to actually get rid of the Kingdra, though, next turn. So I need to pivot out. Because whatever comes in, this Kingdra's Ice Beaming me for sure. Lantern. So I'm most certainly pivoting out here, and I'm going to... Honestly, I'm going to go Zex. I think Zex is the play. And you can actually Crush Claw Kingdra. Let's get rid of Kingdra. I'm kind of afraid of Lantern too, though. We should eat that. Alright, cool. Kingdra's gone. Ice Beam, we take that. Alright, so swapping in to Tentacruel there was absolutely the play. Alright. And we just Sludge Bomb, and I'm actually more afraid of Ludicolo. And we can actually just Crush Claw Ludicolo, gets rid of it. And what is his final Pokemon? This gym fight's actually... Vaporeon, okay. Alright, cool. Believe it or not, I'm going to Sludge Bomb and Crush Claw. What? Okay, this is fun. I actually want to bring in Lollygod Requiem here so I can start Thunderbolting. Thunder. That's fine. I figured this thing would have Thunder. I'm actually surprised it went for that now. I actually, now that I think about it, I wish I would have went Guts and Sceptile because I could have faked out and Leaf Bladed Vaporeon, and that would have given us the win. I am going to fake out here though and Thunderbolt the Vaporeon. Like I said, I'm not too scared of Lantern. Oh, that's so close. Hariyama needs to live this. And he does. Okay. So, I'm assuming both of them go in. I am just 100% superpowering here and Thunderbolting Vaporeon. Yeah, that's fine. Sceptile comes in. We're in Overgrow range. This takes out Vaporeon. Lantern does not have Swift Swim, so Sceptile should be faster. And it just comes down to if we live a Thunder. Oh, it got a crit. I genuinely think that crit mattered because I don't think we win here. Because I bet this thing... Does that have... It has Volt Absorb. Okay, so that worked pretty well. We know what his team is. Let me do this. And that way we can keep Sceptile healthy for the end. This team is really annoying. It's honestly not that bad in terms of Kaizo. Like, I figured this would be way worse, honestly. So, the difference in this one is I can just fake out the Kingdra and Psychic the Kingdra, which is going to keep Gardevoir healthier. Hydro Pump. Gardevoir's... That does so much damage. Alright. I need to Superpower, and the problem is we are going to... Ooh, Draco Meteor. Does this kill Kingdra? I don't think it does. I think it's just shy of killing Kingdra. But that's fine, because we can go Punchy. And we can fake out the Kingdra. Oh, why didn't Kingdra take Recoil? Here comes Cast Form. We just superpower. And actually, chat, who just faked out? Who came in last? Punchy's good. Punchy obviously came in last. Weather ball. Get out of here. Cast form. It didn't kill. Interesting. Alright, so we're gonna send you in. And we'll just Thunderbolt and Crush Claw. Hidden power grass probably. Yeah, that's okay. Both of them hidden power grass? That's fine. Crush Claw gets rid of Kingdra. Here comes the Own Lantern. So this is the only thing that kind of like gave us a hiccup. And I say kinda, not like it actually gave us that much of a hiccup. I'm gonna go in for Lantern this turn. If only we had Volt Absorb. We live. Barely. This needs to crit, and I don't think Leaf Blade can crit in this. Like, I don't think... Oh! Leaf Blade just straight up knocks out the Vaporeon. That makes it way less scary. Ludicolo. Does Crush Claw KO here? Because I think we lost... I got a defense drop. It did. Nice. I think we win. I don't think it can beat... Overgrow Leaf Blade is very good. It is. I don't think it beats... Tentacruel. We just get Tentacruel in, and we just Crush Claw. Yeah, because it saw the kill on Sceptile. Yeah, defense drop. Yeah, we win. This is it. GG. Because Sludge Bomb KOs and Crush Claw KOs. And it can't knock us both out. Dude, Kangaskhan is so good. Chat, we've done it. 8 gym badges. Assuming we get the gym badge. Let's make sure we get it here. We got the rain badge. Holy. That means the hardest part of the game is here. Oh boy.
And now that I've got the 8th gym badge, it's time for Victory Road, which also wasn't too bad, mainly because I went ahead and leveled everything to level 100 because that was the new level cap. There was another hidden fight with Red under a bridge that actually spooked me because you couldn't see the trainer.
Before I go, let's just see what's down this way. Another trainer. Red! Uh-oh.
And yeah, because I was level 100, I just won. It wasn't too bad at all. He did have a couple legendaries like a Ho, a Celebi, and a Mew though, so that was fun. And he did do some decent damage, I think knocking out like 3 Pokemon. Also, I was rewatching the VODs and making this video, and I'm pretty sure there's a troll trainer with a bunch of Explosion Mons somewhere in Victory Road, but I couldn't find it. Now the real challenge begins, and it's time to prepare for the Elite Four. I had a really tough decision to make, being my entire team, because once I stepped through those double doors, I knew it would just be me and my 6 Pokemon. One thing I also haven't said much is revival items are really hard to come by, so you want to make sure you're as prepared as you can be before you actually step through the doors, as you can't just go buy a bunch of revives. 5 fights back to back without any way of healing outside of the items. So I looked through everything I possibly had and came up with the team that I thought was going to win it all. My first pick was Kangaskhan. I actually debated between this and Hariyama, but it was MVP honestly for this entire run. I didn't get down to the nitty gritty of the entire series, but this thing did so much carrying for like wild battles and wild trainer battles, it was insane. It has a good bit of bulk and a decent attack stat. It gets Stab, Fake Out, and Crush Claw. Has Shadow Ball to also hit Ghost Tops. My next pick was a no-brainer. It's Salamence. It has Intimidate, which in my mind is probably the best ability in the game, even current games. It's fast and can hit extremely hard with Stab, Dragon Claw, and Earthquake. Sceptile was my third pick. Of course, it was my starter Pokemon, and it was perfect at revenge killing. Leaf Blade was also really good on it, being a special move with high crit, and also had some really good coverage of Dragon Claw and Crunch. My next pick was Metagross. Now, I haven't actually used the Belt of my Call all the way back at the beginning of my journey, but I decided the physical bulk would be better than the special bulk Gardevoir brought. It also has Clear Body, which means its stats can't be lowered. It's also got really good coverage with Ice Punch, Earth Power, and Stab, Meteor Mash, and Psychic. My 5th choice was a Pokemon I caught like right before stream started, being Melodic. This thing's super bulky and has coverage with Ice Beam and Waterfall Stab. It has Recover to stall and Mirror Coat to reflect back special attacking moves, and its high HP pull made it great use of it. It also has ability where if you get paralyzed or burned or any kind of status condition, it ups its defense stat. My last Pokemon was actually going to be Sableye. It actually got a massive buff in this game, but you actually can only get them on Mirage Island, so that wasn't gonna happen. I ended up deciding to go with Mischievous instead, and I was really surprised with this. It actually made me like Mischievous way more than what I already did like it. It's a really good Pokemon to bring as it has 2 immunities just by its typing alone. Having Levitate as well makes it immune to a 3rd typing. It can force the AI to always go into a ghost move, which is a great pivot because Kangaskhan's immune to ghost. And it had Memento and Pain Split. Although, spoilers, I don't think I used Memento once this entire time, but I did use Pain Split. And with that, it was time. The double doors awaited me, and I took my first step into the Elite Four. Sydney was first up, and honestly, this fight was the easiest Elite Four. It was actually kind of a joke. Salamence just defeated most of his Mons, Machamp, Alakazam, and Jolteon, and Houndoom to be exact. And the rest of his team were just kind of cleaned up with everyone else. Next was Phoebe, and I was having PTSD. You see, Maxie scared me with Dusclops, and I knew she was going to have one, and I was right, she did have one, along with a bunch of stally Pokemon such as Ludicolo and Sableye. Luckily, I could cheese most of her team with swapping between Mischievous and Kangaskhan to make them stall their PP, and I should also say, screw the Sableye and Dusclops for having double team and recover strats to make it to where it couldn't be hit. Effectively, what I ended up doing was switching out to where they ran out of PP and they would struggle against Metagross and Melodic, and I just won after that. After causing her monsters trouble, it actually wasn't too bad of a fight, just have to play around some evasion spam. Sceptile was great for this because he had Magical Leaf and could actually ignore this. Next up was Glacia, and I was actually warned that this was the hardest fight. She has a lot of explosion mons being Regice, Glalie, and Wailord, but I was actually kind of prepared for this with Mischievous. After baiting explosions, Sceptile and Salamence came in and revenge killed Dugong, Swampert, and Lapras, and she was no more. The final Elite Four member is Drake, and he is, in my opinion, by far the hardest of the Elite Four. He has both Laddies with their signature item being Soldew, boosting their special attack by a whopping 50%, two Intimidate Mons being T-Tar and Salamence, and it ended up coming down to me playing this fight perfectly. Kangaskhan was able to take a Draco Meteor from Latios, and it would KO with Fake Out plus the recoil it takes from Draco Meteor. Yes, Draco Meteor, instead of losing its special attack stat, it actually just does recoil in this game. He next sent out Kingdra, and honestly, it wasn't that big of a problem. Milotic came in, and while Kingdra was busy sending out Draco Meteors, Milotic was able to actually Mirror Coat and just recover strats to heal. It also was able to take out T-Tar with a lucky flinch from a Waterfall. Dragonite came out next, and Milotic fired off a big Ice Beam, but Dragonite actually has Thick Fat, so it didn't knock it out, unfortunately. But Dragonite did use Dragon Dance, and the biggest thing happened.
Earthquake, we should still live one. Nice!
It used Earthquake, and Milotic actually survived, and ended up KOing that Dragonite with Ice Beam. Unfortunately, Salamence came in next and just revenge killed Milotic. So I sent out Metagross to bait a Flamethrower, which let me swap in my own Salamence to get an Intimidate off. Then I swapped back into Metagross as it went in for a Dragon move. And I assumed at this point Ice Punch would be able to kill because it was 4 times weak. Unfortunately, it didn't pick up the kill, but it was in range for a Draco Meteor recoil KO. So I swapped in Salamence, which actually did survive the Draco Meteor. And of course, the Salamence did faint. Next up was Latios, who also still had Soldew, and Sceptile did not live that Draco Meteor. And what ended up happening was Mischievous came in, and I actually just Shadow Balled and knocked out Latios with 2 hits. It was actually really insane. And with that, I beat Drake. And now it was time for the last fight. All healed up, it was time to go against the champion of Hoenn, Mr. Steven Stone, the strongest team in the entire region, and I was ready. Except I did make a little bit of a mistake. But instead of me explaining the whole fight and the mistake, I feel like you should just watch it and see if you see it. I did manage to beat the fight on 1 attempt, so sit back and enjoy what is probably the most clutch win I've ever seen.
Alright, here comes the Metagross. Not entirely unexpected. We just Fake Out. And Shadow Ball. This thing is so bulky. Oh my god. And you get an attack raise. I mean, I guess that is physical, right? Let's not have that. Oh, you have clear body, that's right. How much does an Earthquake do? Oh, you're faster. Alright, I'm gonna reset real quick because I want to look and see. Alright. I'm gonna go Palkia instantly here. He's gonna Agility. I'm gonna Earthquake. He's going to Meteor Mash. I just go Quesadilla. Oh, you... Oh, interesting. He pivot. I didn't write down what he had. 1 second. This thing has Earthquake. There's no shot this thing doesn't have Earthquake. Flamethrower. I'm assuming a rock move's coming. Ancient Power. Do not get an Omni Boost. Please, for the love of God. He does not have Earthquake. I think we just Meteor Mash. We got an attack raise too. Yeah, well, this figures. Alright, well, here comes Mewtwo. I'm gonna be honest. Did not see this coming. Actually, I did see this coming. So this Mewtwo is gonna have... What does Mewtwo have? If I was a Mewtwo, right? I'm carrying Focus Blast. No, Mewtwo carries Flamethrower is what it is. This thing's gonna Flamethrower me. Oh, Mewtwo, thank you so much. You have no idea what you just did. Recover. Okay, so here comes the Starmie. Alright, this thing's gonna T-Bolt. We go Snips. It's either T-Bolt or Thunder. Don't paralyze. Do not paralyze. Alright, cool. Cool. Here comes Mewtwo again. I can just crunch. Mewtwo gone. We're also in overgrowth. I knew it! Oh no! F. This sucks. This sucks a lot. Is this Deoxys attack? I can't remember which form this is. Okay, it is attack. Cool. So this thing's gonna just destroy us with whatever it's got. If I was a Deoxys, if I come in here with a Deoxys, right? He's gonna have Flamethrower or some fire move. We just go right back to Tosaka. Superpower. Man, if I'd have known that, I could have went Mischievous. Oh, there's no shot we live this. Alright, he's got Sako boost. Of course he does. Isn't the defend like that? Yeah, it's like really low. It's so low, in fact, you can do that. Which means we send Snips. And Fake Out. Oh, I didn't PP! No, chat! I screwed myself! I killed myself so... Oh, dude. We have this. If I hadn't not Lepa buried up, Fake Out. Metagross dies to our own Metagross. Oh, chat. Okay. Kangaskhan's a beast! Kangaskhan's a beast! Hey, believe it or not, I'm going to just Shadow Ball. Alright, you have Fire Punch. I am not too... Okay, so if he's got Jirachi, it's gonna Serene Grace. Do we just Palkia and... You have 1 HP? Come on. It's just Metagross? We did it! Chat! We did it! Oh, my throat hurts. That wasn't first try. It was technically second because I reset the first bit. I reset the first, like, turn, but that was it. Alright. Are we fighting Wallace now? I'll still take it. We only did, 1. Chat, you guys ready to see the squad? You guys ready to see the squad? Look at the squad. Dude, low-key, Kangaskhan is such a beast. When Jirachi survived on 1 HP, I literally was like, oh no. Dude, the squad. I'm so glad I added Metagross, by the way, instead of Gardevoir. That fight had some good memes. It really did. I should have clipped some of them. We did it. Milotic was huge. Sceptile was huge. Honestly, the entire team pulled their weight. Out of all the Elite Four, Glacia was definitely the hardest, though.
And that's how I beat Emerald